Hello everybody, this will be my breakdown for episode 4 of Hawkeye. So let's get into it. We have a lot to discuss about this episode. So there was no Kingpin in this episode. I still think that he's going to show up in this series. Maybe he will show up in a post-credit scene for the next episode, or maybe for the season finale. But I think that he has to show up. Now, let's talk about the big thing about this episode, and that is the return of Yelena Belova, who was introduced in the Black Widow movie, played by the fantastic, wonderful Florence Pugh. Now, I love this because it was straight off the comics. I mean, the night vision goggles, and that's a trademark for this character, and it distinguishes her from Natasha, along with the blonde hair, and I just love it. And also the Yelena Widows by still rare, so that's very interesting. Basically, meaning that red is a color that is often used as something bad, you know, like. But Natasha has those same widows by, but hers were blue, so meaning that she has shame from her past to being a good person. So what's interesting here is that we all know that if you have seen the Black Widow movie, Yelena is working with Val along with John Walker, aka US agent, who Val recruited him in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Now, I I don't think that John Walker knows what's up with Val, but I think Yelena probably does. And where in her conversation at the post credit scene of Black Widow, they they have worked together before, so there's a little bit of a history between them. Now, Yelena doesn't have like a strong moral code, at least not yet. So we will see. Now, what's interesting and fascinating about this character is that Yelena Belova, like John Walker, is a Marvel comic book character who sleep back sleep back and forth between an anti-villain and an anti-hero. So with this, basically we John Walker most of the time is because he's misguided, but Yelena Belova is not the case. And what's interesting about her character is that you don't know what are you going to get. Maybe she's a anti-villain or anti-hero. It's hard to say which Yelena you're going to get. So that's really fascinating about this character. Now, looks like the looks like Clint Hawkeye has no idea that Val sent Yelena to kill him, telling him telling her that Clint is responsible for Natasha's death, her sister. So I think maybe Yelena will not decide to take the shot Clint. like exactly like Clint did with Natasha. Remember, Clint was sent to kill Natasha, but he didn't do it. That's that was his decision, and I think maybe we're going to get something similar to that with Yelena, that is now hunting Clint for Natasha's death. So I really great stuff in this episode. Really love that. Now I want to talk about the Thunderbolts because we can see they are quickly assembling the team, the Thunderbolts, as I told before. And now with this series and these characters getting introduced and all of these things, you get the evidence yourself. Now in the comments, the Thunderbolts team, Bucky has led them. He, he has been team leader of the Thunderbolts. But perhaps in the NCU is going to be Clint Bottom, also known as Hawkeye, because in the comics, Clint Bottom also has led the Thunderbolts. So we have to wait which direction they're going to go with the Thunderbolts, but perhaps this series setting Clint on that path. Now, who does the watch belong? Let's get to the watch because this seems important. The Rollers. Now, the watch seems that it belongs to a lady. So it seems like a ladies Rolex. Now, Clint has said that he belongs to a colleague of his, whose identity is still a secret, and if that watch were to be revealed, so it will get out there, so it will give away the person's identity. Now I saw a guess, and it was quite interesting. So it was saying that this person, that he thinks that the watch belongs to his wife, to Clint Bottom's wife, Laura. Now that makes sense because we seen in this episode that she knows about the watch, the Rolex. She's quite interesting, and in her and Clint knows immediately what 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 she's talking about, and she has the ability herself to track the Rolex. So without having to check with anybody else. Now it seems that she and Clint talk during this show. That's an investigation. Now we seen that Laura speak like fluent Spiko and she knows German. So I think it's pretty clear that the watch belonged to her because there are a lot of indication that points to her. Now, in the comments, Clint was married to a fellow weapon Mockingbird, and that character also appeared in Agents of Shield. Now, in the comments, they never had kids, but obviously the NCU is not page for page was in the comics. They take inspiration from the comics and some elements, but it's not exactly the same page for page. So I think the Laura Barton is the witness protection for Bobby Moons and aka Mockingbird. So maybe Linda Cardone will get some pretty good action scenes in this series, or maybe in season 2. Let's see how this whole series wraps up. Now, speaking of action, let's break down the big action scene of this episode, and that's the rooftop scene. And I think it was pretty funny from the moment that Kate uh, gets stuck in in the in the zip line, and also where she has to take the stairs to get back to the roof to to the fight. So it was a very comic book action scenes. So quite interesting. Now the arrow used, it was kind of a concussion arrow. I've loved that. I mean, it was brilliantly well used. It was spectacular. I think that so far from the trick arrows, that would be my favorite. It just, it was very good use in that moment. Now let's talk about what else happened in this episode. Now we get like a very funny sit down between Kay, Clean, and the and Kate's mother and her stepfather. Now I think that we had, I was expecting like a big source fight, especially by the cliffhanger of the last episode, but we didn't get that. Now, Jack, aka Sauceman, he may be the one who killed uh, Echo's father, because with a saw using the running suit, maybe perhaps for Kingpin. But I don't know. I still think that it could be Cassie or maybe someone else. I think that Jack, it seems like a misleading. I think that he's not really a big villain. Or also, he has connection to Cassie, so I think yes, he's a villain. But I think that we have to wait and see a little more for that. Now, Vera Farmiga's Eleanor, Kate Bishop's mother, quite interesting. She doesn't what she does claim to stop working with her daughter, but she also asked her to drop the case entirely and then make some suspicious call to someone, maybe Kingpin. We will have to wait and see. Now, retrieving the trick errors, and that was a funny and very clever idea. And I like those people, the lepers. The shots were really good. And now we know where the gay the when where Kate and Clint get their new customs. And we have seen the end product with photos and all that, and looks pretty good. So can't wait to see that. So the lepers really step up the game. Now they also talk about the boomerang arrows that's from the comments. Let's see if we seen those arrows in the last 2 episodes that we have left. I'm very curious to see that. Also, the Christmas party was very fun. I love the banter, the dynamic between them. It was just very Christmas, and I like the Christmas spirit. So breaking to Echo's apartment was quite interesting, and we learned something about the system alarm and all of that. Now, will Kingpin come back? That's the big question, isn't it? Now, I think yes, because the actor who has played Kingpin, Vincent D'Onofrio, will have been teasing in social media like crazy for just a hand that was shown in the previous episode. So I think he's coming. Now, I think that this episode is trying to do so much, and we only have 2 episodes left. I mean, we have the Echo and the Tracksuit Mafia, Madame Masque, supposedly with uh, Vera Famigas. We also had the Swordsman, who, well, we haven't seen him really actually fight with the swords, except for that time with Kate. And it doesn't feel they're going to wrap all this. So in I don't know how they're going to wrap all of these stories because we only have 2 episodes left. But we will see. Maybe by the end of the season, I will feel very differently, of course. But let's see. But I'm so happy we have Yelena Belova, and that means she's going to have a really substantial role because we only have 2 episodes left. So I will assume that we're going to see her in the next 2 episodes. So that's my breakdown on episode 4 of Hawkeye. Let me know in the comments below what do you think of the episode. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, share it with your friends, and consider subscribing to the channel. So thank you for watching. Bye bye.